How would you like to have really strong trellises that'll stand up to anything and any plant? Well, today we're going to do that. We're going to actually build metal conduit trellises and make our own nylon netting. This stuff is really strong, very sturdy. Now, one of the nice things that you can do when you make your own trellis netting is you can actually take this string, and I'm going to show you how to tie the knots to make really tight string, but you can actually custom fit your grids to any size you want. So if you have bigger plants or smaller plants, it won't matter, because you'll be able to move this string to make tighter grids or wider grids. The other nice thing with the tomato plants, you can start them in the cages and then weave them through the string and bring them right up the trellis. And you can make it as tall as you want. So if you've got some really good growing tomato plants, you don't have to be limited to the cages. You can add on a trellis and just keep on growing. So other than tomatoes, what else can you grow vertically with these kind of trellises? How about pumpkins? Look at here, we've got pumpkins growing, and they're doing just fine on the trellis. And let's not forget about watermelons too. They seem to be pretty happy there. And what about single stem tomatoes? I've actually got 4 planted in a row here, and we're just working them up by pruning them, going single stem all the way up. And as you can see right here, we got maters. Alright, so what you're going to need to build your trellises, well, it's really not that much. For every trellis you build, you're going to need some rebar. Now this is 4-foot rebar right here, 1/2 inch. And what I'll do is I'll sink 2 foot of it in the ground, and I'll leave 2 foot up above that the conduit will actually slide onto. This is going to make it really sturdy, and any wind that comes along is not going to blow it over. The other thing you're going to need is nylon string. You're going to need a conduit cutter, and you're going to need a couple of these 90-degree elbows for electrical metal conduit. That's what the EMT stands for. And of course you're going to need your conduit. Now I'm using 1/2 inch conduit. It comes in 10-foot long sticks, and it's $1.96. If you want really tall trellises, you know, you can make it 5 foot, 6 foot, 7 foot. You just need to buy more conduit. A couple other things you're going to need: a tape measure and a Sharpie. The first thing we're going to do is mark off 2 foot. I'm going to actually make this 4 foot tall and 2 foot wide. That way I can use up the pipe and still show you how to do this. We're going to mark 2 foot here. Okay, now what we're going to do is take our pipe cutter. We're going to put it on where we placed our mark. And these pipe cutters, they're like between $3 and $5 at your hardware store. They're pretty cheap. And you can also use them for PVC, so they're versatile. Now when you use one of these, what you'll do is you'll put it on there. Make sure when you put it on that you get the pipe right here in these grooves. So this blade needs to be right on your mark. On your mark. Get set. You're going to tighten it up to where it's just kind of slightly snug, not mad dog tight, just snug. And then you're going to make a couple of loops around. Once it moves freely, give it another twist and tighten it up a little more. After a few turns of doing this, you'll have a pipe cut to length. Alright, I've got my side pieces measured off, got my mark made, and then we're on, and we're going to cut it up here. If you're a little bit off, it's alright, it's not going to be the end of the world. It'll be close enough for government work. Of course, if it was government work, this would cost a lot more. A couple other things I left out at the beginning that will make it a lot easier. You're going to need a drill to secure your elbows, and a hammer, or in my case, a 10-pound sledge. Okay. So let's secure our elbows. Basically all you're going to have to do here is put this bad boy in, tighten it on. It doesn't take a whole lot, and it's there. There we go. The next thing we're going to do is put in our side pieces, just like that. Okay, like I said, this is just for representation purposes. The actual trellises that I typically make are a lot wider and a lot bigger. I just want to give you an idea of how this is made and how it goes together. Now when it comes to securing it, you don't want to just throw it in the ground because it could fall over. What we're going to want to do is put rebar in. And the best way I've found to know where to put your rebar so that you're spaced properly is to just take your trellis, set it where you want it, give it a couple of pounds. What you've basically done is made a couple of holes in the ground. What you've basically done is made a couple of holes in the ground, and now we know exactly where to put our rebar. Okay. 4-foot rebar for something this size is definitely overkill, but I guarantee you this mammy jammy ain't going anywhere. Okay, when you go to put it in, as you can see, we've got it there. If we start to work these in here, you may find that it's a little bit tight. You got to also be careful because as you're pounding it in, this can flatten out. So you may have to if you're having problems to getting it on or getting it to slide all the way down, there's an easy, simple fix for it. Just come up here, pop one side out, like so. Down it goes, and hopefully, oh, that's the side I cut there. Go. And there we go. Now all we have to do, link it back up here, so. And re-secure it. There we are, we've got our frame. Okay, before we actually get to stringing up our trellis, we've got our nylon string. I thought we might want to have a little class on tying a good knot for the trellis. Also a word here, and it's going to roll there. In order to keep your string from doing this as you cut and tie it, I highly recommend that you get you a lighter. And what you can do, and be very careful not to burn yourself. The management accepts no responsibility for burns. What you're going to do is take the orange part of the flame and get it on there, like so. What will happen then is that it will actually sear and cauterize your rope so that it won't do that. That's very important. Every time you make a cut, it needs to be cauterized so that your string doesn't degrade on you. Okay, so there's that. Okay, I've got me an assistant to hold up the bar. Say hello.
Hi.
Okay. And this is going to be kind of like a backhand hitch, which is really good on bars, and it will get stronger the tighter and the more pressure you put on the string. So that's a good thing for what we're doing. We're going to throw it over like so. I said it's kind of like it, not necessarily entirely like it. Okay, we're going to throw it over. We're going to come around like so. Come back over right here. And then we're going to put a knot in like so. And a knot in like so. And now as you pull on it, it gets tighter and tighter. And you can just leave that hanging. no problem. And then we're going to go over to the other side of our string, and when we get over to the other side, we're going to pull off more than we need on the other side. You don't want to get all the way over there and burn off your string and not have enough. So we're going to take more than we need, and then we're going to just simply burn it like I showed you before and separate it like that. That way you don't have to have scissors out there. You can just take a lighter and burn it off. This is a lot easier to do if you do it before you get your plants in the ground. I had to get this one in the ground the other day. It's my dad's peanut pumpkin. So we're just going to kind of go around it. As it grows, we'll put it up the trellis. And if you saw what the things look like, I really don't want a whole bunch of them. Sorry, Dad. Okay. All right, so we're going to do what we just showed you. We're going to start just a couple inches off the ground here. Come around. Kind of that backhand hitch knot. The tighter we pull on it, the stronger it gets. We're going to come over here, take off more than we need, and burn our string. Easier said than done when it gets windy. If you plan on doing a lot of these, it's a good idea to wear gloves to keep you from burning your fingers, and it'll keep the string from eating them up. Okay, there we go. We got that. Now over on this side, we're just going to do the same thing. Only we're going to pull it, make sure it's really, really tight. I want that string nice and taut. We're going to start going with our horizontals. And then once we've got all of our horizontals on, we do our verticals. For spacing, I like to do something like this right here. Whatever it is, just make sure it's uniform. But now I know I want to start right here, so that's what I'll do. So we've got all of our horizontals done. Now we're going to go to vertical, and this is where it's going to really get its strength and retain its strength. And by doing it like this, we're going to be able to move the strings as necessary as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to start up here, and I like to take about a fist's width here, and so I'll start it right here. Now that's as I'm going in the middle. Now initially, in order to provide more strength, I'll put one right here, and I'll put one right over here on the ends in order to give it more vertical strength. But once again, we're just doing kind of a changed up backhand hitch sort of here, like so. And then we'll give it another knot and pull tight. As we pull on it, it gets tighter and tighter and stronger. Now this is important also. I've got it still connected to the string, so I'm going to come down here, and then I'm going to come out a good little distance here and burn it off. There we go. You always want more than enough string rather than not enough. Okay, now this is what we're going to do. Now we're going to get this lined up. We don't want to be off one way or the other, but I'm going to press and hold here. I'm going to bring it around to the right. I'm going to bring it around to the left of the string. I'm going to pull tight, and I'm going to come down here. Whatever I finished with on this side is what I'm going to start with here. So we started with the left, or finished with the left, so I'm going to start with the left. Pinch it and hold it, and bring it around to the right. Same thing here. Finish with the right, so I'm going to start with the right. Pinch and hold it, bring it around the left. And on we go. Okay, so now we've made it down to the end, and what I'm going to do is the same thing I did up top, basically. Coming around, there. And now I'm going to come up, I'm going to pull it tight so that we've got tension on it. And then I'm going to give it 2 basic knots. One, and I'll go the other way. And 2. Now we'll just keep going all the way across, just like that. Okay, we're going to space it out about like that. Get our spacing right, pull tight, get that knot up on the bar, like so. Come all the way down, get more than enough, burn it off, hopefully without burning me. Remember, be careful if you're working with a flame. And see, if you get too much like this, if you want to make it nice and neat, you can take some of that off too, like that. Okay. All right. We started with right last time, so this, you can go either way you want. Just remember to keep this line tight though as you're going. Okay, because that's where we're going to get our strength. See how much wobble we have right here in these? Looky right here. Not much wobble at all, so we get our strength there. By double wrapping it. And the nice thing though is that we can actually move this string like I was showing you before and fit it to what we're doing. Another thing to remember is the more string you put on, the stronger it's going to be. And if you've got big leaf plants that you want to grow vertically, like squash, zucchini, things like that, you need to have more space. These pumpkins are going to send out runners that'll wrap themselves around, though. It'll be fine if we stay on top of it, you know, and just train them as they go. Won't be a problem at all. Okay. Get it nice and tight down at the bottom. No bug. Yeah. Don't fret if you see looseness here, because we're going to actually pull that out down at the bottom when we get done here. And it'll be nice and tight. And here's what it looks like now that it's done. That ought to work. You can apply it to any size trellis you want. You'll notice here I made wider squares, but I found that with all of these runners, tight squares would have been just fine, and it gives it a lot more strength too. But this one's doing okay. We got pumpkins on there. It seems to be pretty happy. Well guys, I hope that was helpful for you. Vertical growing is really, really fun. All kinds of stuff you can grow that way. And if you're in a limited space, especially in apartments and things like that, it's another solution that maybe you could look towards. Growing out of planters and growing them vertically. So, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Next time we get together, we're going to talk about suckers. No, I'm not talking about the kind of people that get conned. I'm talking about how to make more tomato plants for free. We'll see you next time. And be sure and subscribe.